Hey y'all, it's your girl Suki. Thank you for tuning in to Wednesdays with Suki, which is typically uploaded on Thursdays because I have a thing. I hope that you're continuing to do something sweet for yourselves and others by getting to your honey-do list and just exploring the world. And I want to know about how you drive. Can you send me some stories or tell me when you got your license? Because I've decided that Maryland and DC drivers are the worst drivers in the world. And I can say that because I got my license in Maryland and I've been driving since I was 8, but nobody should have given me any driver's license, like at all, like in the least, in the like, in the hemisphere of Earth. I should have never been given that license. Virginia drivers are pretty bad as well. They typically have a dent in the front or somewhere on their car. Sometimes the car doesn't even open. I had a dent, but I got it fixed. And it was a 7-Eleven walking pole that hit my car. These are real things. You can look it up. I mean, you can look up because I just named it, but it is a real thing. This guy at work told me that the Georgia walking pine hit his car. It got him and 3 of his siblings. These things are real. A walking tree and a walking pole. You have to watch out for these things. So I got my license in Maryland. At the time, like if you failed your driving test, you would have to wait 2 weeks to get the test done again. So, and I I failed it, but actually still got my license the same day. I blame the lady, honestly. It's save yourself, lady. Think of the world. Think of other people. Like when you get on the airplane and they tell you to put the mask on yourself first, she should have thought about herself first. You got to save yourself. I don't know how I got that license. So they had this like course, right? And in the course there was like different sections you had to get through. She told me to turn on my blinkers, just to see if I knew where they were. I turned on my windshield wipers. Then I giggled and said, just joking. I was kind of joking. Anyways, there was like cones set up. It was like this whole thing. And like the cones represented kids. I ran over a kid, gone, gone. Kid was gone. Ran over the kid. My stepfather had just put like new rims on the car. Don't know why he did that. I hit all 4 of those rims. Trying to parallel park. It's supposed to take you like 60 seconds. I don't know. It took me like 10 minutes. So at the end of the driving test, the lady says, "So you failed, right?" I said, "Yeah, but did I really? I mean, like in the grand scheme of life, did I fail? Yes. Yes, you did. So, well, that's unfortunate. Is there anything we can like do? I must have looked so pitiful. She let me take the test again, and I got my license. Sure did. Kid under the car and everything. I mean, it was a fake kid, but it could have been a real one. It wasn't though, but it could have been. No clue how I got that license, honestly. Which is how I know that Maryland drivers are the worst. They're just giving out licenses to people. Yeah, I've been driving since I was 8, but Oklahoma is a different place. It's a different place. I used to be able to go to the grocery store with a blank check from my grandma and just sign it and just get everything I wanted from the grocery store. And at that time, you could also like be like 10 and walk to the store and have a note from your dad saying a case of beer. And they would just give you a case of beer. I think we were more trusting then, or not not as aware, I guess, of all the dangers of giving a 10-year-old a case of beer. I don't know. It was like regular thing. I can't explain it. Anyways, DC drivers are bad because they don't drive. They take the metro, they take Ubers, they take taxis. So when they get behind a wheel, the muscle memory doesn't kick in because there is none. I know these things to be true. DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, man. Virginia has the best drivers, except for the walking poles that come out of nowhere and hit your car, and the multiple accidents that occur all the time, all the time. But Maryland, I'm telling you, it's Maryland. Where did you get your license? And how bad was that first test? Did you pass it? Did you fail it? I also do this thing, like if I move to a new state, I don't bring my license with me because you're supposed to turn it in. But typically I like the picture. So I want to keep it. So I just get a new license. I have like a whole stack. Don't know if that's okay. I mean, it's not like I'm using the license. I just like the picture. It sounds good to me. I don't see why anybody would be upset at that. I don't know. I'm not going to ask them. When I went to North Carolina to get my license, I walk into the spot and the guy's like, "Hey there, are you here to get you a license?" I said, "I sure am." He said, "Well, the state is no longer allowing people to use their nicknames." I said, their nicknames? He said, "Yeah. So if you go by Bubba, you can't get Bubba on your license no more." I said, are there people out there with Bubba? Like, was that their name their mom gave them? He said, "Yeah, that's what the state said. Has to be the name on your birth certificate. They just changing everything." I said, "Oh my God, how dare they?" I mean, Bubba isn't your real name. Like, how are we supposed to arrest you if it's your nickname? Anyways, me and him drove up to the Sonic, got us a shake. I did a 3-point turn and got my license. I don't know how I get these licenses, y'all. Someone should really investigate it, but not now because I'm doing just fine. And I'm teaching my daughter how to drive. So all is well. Trust me. Okay, wait. Also in North Carolina, the experience of walking into the place to get your license is like completely different. Like they may have a gallon of tea that they just hand out. In Maryland, you're always in the wrong line. No matter how much you prepare, you are going to be in the wrong line with the wrong paperwork. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you read all the instructions on the website or if you call, you are still going to be wrong and have to return the next day. I think they do that on purpose. And it's like, how did you know I was going to be wrong before I even got up here? You're already like, "Oh no, you got the wrong stuff," but you didn't even look. You didn't even look. Craziness. Anyways, tell me your stories. Tell me what happened. Let me know, what was your first experience? Did you have to do it as driving school? We did have to take a behind the wheel class. And that was pretty much us just rolling around to Walmart and McDonald's and picking up stuff with the lady. That's all we did with her. Didn't really learn too much, but it was like $350. It's a scam, freaking scam. I know how to drive. I've been driving since I was 8 years old. Drove my cousins. I know how to do this. Scam, what that is. Like, there's a spot in Old Town, Virginia, Old Town, Alexandria. It's a cute area. It has cobblestone streets. It's like very walkable. It's got restaurants by the water. It's very cute. But they have these lanes that they designated HOA lanes, and you can only be in the lane if you have two or more people. And I guess they're encouraging like multi-passenger usage, but sometimes you don't have more than one person in the car with you. Sometimes it's just you. So sometimes I use a lane. Well, one time I got caught. I'm driving in the lane, minding my own business. A cop comes out in the middle of the road and says, "You pull over." I shook my head no. He was like, "Are you over?" I said, "No, I'm not going over there because you're going to try to give me a ticket and I don't want one." That's what I told him. This is how I go about life mostly, like things I either want or don't want. These are what I do. So I'm talking to the cop through the window. This was a couple of years ago. I'm much better now. I I think. I think I'm much better. Anyways, he's talking to me through the window. "You over here." I said, "I'm not going over there. Not going over there." I was turning. He said, "If you do not pull over here within the next 2 seconds, fine, fine. You're causing all this ruckus." So I pull on over. I said, "What is this about?" He said, "You were in the HOA lane." I said, "But was I? I was making a turn." He said, "You were not making a turn. You had on your right blinker and you were in the left lane. I thought I was going to get over. He said, now, what if I came to your job and told you how to do it? I said, well, I can't even get to my job because you're stopping me. This is impeding my process, I told him. He said, do you ever shut up? I said, no, I don't. I tried it once. It just does not work for me. I did. I tried. I'm trying now, actually. He said, listen to me. License and registration. I said, okay. God, about that registration. He said, you don't, where's your registration? I said, I don't know. I was like looking for it the other day. I don't know where it is. I think it got stolen. I am being so sincere. I tell him, like, my car, I think it got broken into and like they took it. He said, someone took your registration. I said, right, because otherwise, why don't I have it? Right? He said, okay, I'm going to break this down for you. You were arguing with the cop. You were in an HOA lane. You do not have a registration. I said, well, oh my God, just go ahead and give me the ticket. Like, you don't have to make me feel bad about it. I said, I didn't mean to do it. He said, you know what? Get out of my face. Get out of my face. And if I ever see you in Old Town in that HOA lane, you're getting arrested. I said, okay, I'll go. No need to sound like that. I hope you have a fabulous day. This is how I do life. I don't know. I just try to negotiate as much as I can. I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know. When I first got my first apartment, my family didn't really talk about like how to pay bills, like what you're supposed to do with a bill, you know? I was like 11 when my stepdad told me no for the first time. He said, we have to pay bills. I said, who is Bill? And why do we owe him money? Tell him I don't want to pay that. So anyways, I get my first apartment. I get my first cable bill. I said, I didn't watch that much cable. I'm only going to pay half of this. And I send in half the payment. So then I get a letter in a pink envelope. I was like, oh my God, look at this. This is nice. Pink envelope. That is a disconnection notice for those who are unaware. So that's when I learned that you're supposed to pay the whole thing. No one really cares that you only watched a little bit of it, which I think is unfortunate, honestly. I don't know. It's like, I have no idea. I have no idea how I do stuff. People in my neighborhood had like a bet that I would be home within the first week of college because me and life, I just kind of make my own rules. Every job I have, I make up my own hours because I don't really understand the hours they give me. So I do my own hours that seem more appropriate for me. I will make up my own job title. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're on a floating rock in space and money is not real. I should be able to live it how I want to live it. And that's what I do. Anyway, I hope that you experienced something new this week and that you are checking out my videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the Slasher Sports family because they are doing awesome stuff with horror and baseball, and they have new videos as well. Let me know what you cooked this week. We tried eggplant parmesan. I didn't pick the best eggplant. I don't actually know how to pick eggplant, so it was like my first time, but it turned out pretty well. We had to sweat the eggplant. Interesting, right? Sweat it. It's like a whole bunch of science stuff going on. You put some salt on it, the water pours out. Amazing. It turned out really good. Had a good time. See what else did I do? And that was it. I am reading a new book called The Perfect Peace. Wild story. Wild. Insane story. It's like generational abuse and neglect. It's incredible. The writer is incredible. I'll get the name of it for the next show and let you know how far I've gotten in the book. I hope that you have tried something new for yourself or watched something new to help out your life. Sometimes, like this week has been really, really hard. So I looked up how to become a morning person. I'm already not liking the steps. One of them was going to bed early, and you see that's not going to happen. Wednesdays with Suki uploaded Thursday morning at 1. And then it said not to do anything like that will get you excited. Again, something I'm not doing right because these videos get me really excited. So I don't know. I'm gonna start tomorrow being a better Suki. That you're supposed to show up for the person you want to be. And I hope y'all do that with me because this week was terrible. It was, I think the week after a holiday makes me think, what am I doing? And then I have to get into a whole groove again. It's been real bad, but I'm glad that I have y'all to connect with and that I'm getting awesome feedback on all the videos I've done and the great conversations. Follow me on Twitter at 80 Suburbia. You can follow my podcast, Suki's Honeydew Project, anywhere you get your podcasts, and of course these YouTube videos. I also have an Instagram, which I need to update, and I will be doing that this weekend. Yeah, I guess that's it. I have one crime scene story to talk about. I was a crime scene tech, right? And that position that I was in, you had to work the street as well as the jail. And in the jail, you would have to like fingerprint people and like look up fingerprints to see if the person was lying. Like you had to like go through this whole like file and actually pull up fingerprints and then see if that person was lying about their name. And we caught a lot of people who were lying. They would have like rows and rows of like charges and they were trying to use another name. One particular night I'm working the jail and a guy comes in with blisters from head to toe, head like blisters. There was stuff like oozing out of these blisters. We wore gloves at the time, right? I'm allergic to latex. Found out that I was allergic to latex in college, put two and two together. So you can work that out amongst yourselves to figure out how I realized I was allergic to latex. Neither here nor there. So I put on my gloves because like this guy is like oozing stuff. And I'm like, hey, fam, you all right? He said, well, fell asleep in a barn after getting really drunk and landed on a nest of fiddleback spiders. And they bit me all night. I said, you didn't wake up? He said, no, I was pretty drunk. I said, well, what were you drinking, Tangeray? My goodness. What in the world can knock you out to where you don't feel fiddlebacks all up and down your body just having a anyways, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody who's been bitten or if you've ever been bitten. It like kills the skin and then it just pops up again. Like your skin dies and it keeps killing your skin. So he he was covered. I said, well, what are you in here now for? He said, stealing, but also I might get me some medical treatment. I said, hey, I like it. Let's get you fingerprinted and get you some help. You gotta look at the positive. You gotta look at the positive. And that man was thinking with the noggin for sure. Got him some help and a nice bed. I'm not saying do that. Please don't get bit by no fiddleback just to be in jail and get you. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that man did the right thing for his situation because it was gross. I hope he's okay. That was crazy. I mean, head to toe, his neck, his ears, his eyelids. He was drunk in a nest full of fiddleback spiders and he slept through it. Incredible. Insane. Much like me receiving my license. Do something amazing for yourself, even if it's just getting your feet done. And if you're a guy, you can get your feet done too. There's men in my neighborhood, they all have their toes painted and they look awesome. They all have ladies or a nice male companion. Either way, their feet are done. Go get you a pedicure or a manicure. Do something sweet for yourself. And I will talk to y'all next week.